In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to use different background patterns and masks to make your blog headers and posts much more interesting right inside of Divi. Let's go ahead and begin. So the first thing we need to do is from our dashboard, go ahead and go down to Divi and then Theme Builder. And this is going to open up our Divi Theme Builder options. Then to the far right, we're going to click this icon here and we're going to import the template we want to work with. The first one we're going to use is the Divi Print Shop. So click here and then just load the file we want to use. There's full instructions on this and where to find this layout in the video description below. So go ahead and click that if you need these files. And then from there, just click Import Divi Theme Builder Templates. Now, once this is done, we're just going to click this little pencil icon to edit the template that we want. Now that we're in the template, we're going to use a combination of background masks and patterns to match the image and gradient settings that are currently being used to create the original background for the header section. First, we want to open the settings module to start our work. So you want to go up here to the top, click the little gear icon, and that's going to bring up the section settings. So what we want to do here first is we're going to adjust the background. So if we go under content, go down to background here, we see that we already have a background gradient and an image by default, and we want to remove these. So go ahead and click background gradient, and then up here there's a little reset icon. If you click the reset icon, that's going to remove it. And you can see over here in our preview window that that has been reset. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a background mask. So if you go over here, there's the background mask icon. Just click add background mask. By default, it's going to come up with our default settings, but we're going to change these a bit. So where it says layer blob here, we're going to go ahead and change that right here to the diagonal option. Don't worry, there shouldn't be any changes yet, and that is because our mask color is set here to white, and we just want to change this mask color. So I'm going to enter the mask color that I want here. It's going to be this lovely dark blue, and it may look a little funky right now, but don't worry, we're going to change some settings to make that look a little better. Under mask transform, we're going to change this to horizontal. We're going to turn on the rotate, and we're going to invert this mask color. And now you can see that looks quite a bit better. This gives us a nice, interesting design over here, but that's not all we're going to do. We're going to add a little more interest by adding a background pattern as well to kind of fill in this white spot that you can see. So go over here to background pattern, and then hit add background pattern. Now we can adjust this to look however we want. We're going to change this from polka dots. We're going to go down here to the tufted, and then I'm going to change the background color as well. If you want to follow along the exact colors that I'm using, again, you can check the blog post that's linked, and then you can just copy and paste these if you wanted it to look exactly like this. But I'm sure you want this to look a little different on your site. These are just the colors that I'm using today. So now we can click the green check mark to save this. So now you can see our header design is a lot more interesting and more fun to look at. And here we can see the blog post header design we just made on a live page and what it would look like. Let's go ahead and check out another example using the same technique. For this one, I'm going to use the Divi Fashion Designer template. You can find this in the video description below. Installing it is the exact same way as before, so I'm not going to go over those steps again. But for this one, we're going to change our settings. So go ahead and go to your settings sections module here. And then what we're going to do on this one is add a background color. So go down to Content, Background, and where it has background color, click the little eyedropper, and I'm going to go ahead and change this here to a nice little beige color. And then like in the previous example, we're going to go to the background mask tab and we're going to add a background mask. And for this one, I'm going to change it from layer blob over here to chevrons. For the mask color, I'm going to leave this here white, and then I'm going to change this to inverted. And that's going to invert our mask that you can see right up here. Then just like in the previous example, let's add a background pattern by clicking this, click add background pattern. And I don't really like polka dots here, so let's change this to the honeycomb pattern. And then since this gray stands out quite a bit, what I'm going to do is just change this to white, and that is going to be pound FFF, and that will change it to white for you. And then we'll just go ahead and save this. You can see that added this nice faint honeycomb pattern to the mask that we made. It just adds a lot more interest to our header. And that's our second header done. And here you can see what that header design would look like on a live page. For the last example, I'm going to be using the Divi Corporate Layout Pack, which you can install the exact same way. So first what we want to do, again, open up the settings. And for this one, I'm going to change the background. Instead of the color we have here, I'm just going to use black, which is also hex code 000000. And for this one, let's go ahead and start with a background pattern. So we'll click Pattern, and then Add Background Pattern. And I'm going to use diagonal stripes here. And let's change the color so we can actually see it. And for this one, I'm going to use a light gray color. And then I want the stripes to go the other way, so I'm going to change the pattern transform to horizontal here. And that's going to do it for the pattern. Now let's go ahead and add a background mask. So we'll go to our background mask here, then click Add Background Mask. And then instead of blob, I'm going to change this here, and we're going to go down and click diagonal lines. Then for the mask color, instead of white, I'm going to go ahead and change that color here. And then I'm going to invert this design. So go ahead and click invert here. So then I like the way this looks, so I'm going to save this. And here you can see what that design looks like on a live page. Here you can see side by side what our examples look like that we did today. Check out the blog post in the link below for more information and for resources on where you can find all of these packs that we used today. Also, don't forget to check out the other tutorials we have, and we'll see you in the next video.